A mum to my 3 kids, 72, asks, were you married before? The answer is yes, I was married before. I got married very young and for the wrong reasons. But I got Cameron out of it, so it's not all bad. My Zone asks, were there differences between your life now and before having kids? Of course there are, but I mean in your relation with your husband. Okay, so with my Danny, I already had Cameron when I met him, so it's completely different. So the shock of having a child wasn't there, because when we had Liam, we'd already had Cameron. And Danny always says Cameron taught Danny to be a dad before he was a father, and they are so close. And when he was little, before we had our other children, people would assume that Danny and Cameron were related, more so than being mine. Cameron looks more like Danny than he does me, but maybe that just says something about my choice of men. But yeah, I definitely get that, because in my first marriage, a lot of the problems that were there because we were both young, we had a child young, and it was a stressful time. So yeah, I do get that. But in the position I'm in now with my husband Danny, there was never that issue, because I was already a mum, and when he took me on, he took Cameron on too. It also goes on to say, I want to know how you guys survived in peace together and how you deal with your problems. I think communication is key, and we have the same goals. So despite how we get there, we have the same goal in mind, definitely. Me and Danny are very different people, and we always come at things from a different angle. But what we try to remember is we may come at things from a different angle, but the end goal is always the same. We just have different tactics on how to get there. But it's definitely communication is definitely key. B. Rose Brown asks, where did you and Danny meet and how? Okay. Me and Danny met online. That's probably going to shock a lot of people. I know it shocked my family. My nan was like, you know that Ellen? She picked up a man off the internet. Yeah, I did. But do you know what? We've been together for a while now. We have been together for 12 years, which is longer than my first husband, and I met him in the more traditional sense. So I kind of think, you can meet someone that's not great for you anywhere. I definitely wasn't silly when we met, and we met somewhere publicly, and we spoke online for about 6 months before we'd met, and we just got on like a house on fire, and we got on really, really well, and we are here now. Hey It's Me asks, how long have you been with your husband? So me and Danny have been together for 12 years. We've only been married for 2. We actually got married on our 10th anniversary. Now that is because it took a lot to get me down the aisle the second time, I'm going to tell you. I was not willing to get married again, but Danny obviously has never been married, and he always wanted to get married. And he tried to convince me left, right and centre the reasons for we should get married. And I was like, we're fine as we are, I don't need to go through that again. But we did, we ended up getting married, and it was a lovely wedding. I might chuck some pictures at the end of this just so you can see, in case anyone's interested. Jade asks, your boys seem to get on really well, and the older 2 really look after the younger one. How do you encourage them all to get on? Me and Danny do this thing where it's like blanket blame between them. It's an army tactic, and Danny is ex-army. So basically, I'll give you an example. Something got broken in my front room. I knew it was Ollie. I knew it was him, but he wouldn't admit it. Did you break that? No. Right. Did you break it, Cameron? No. Did you break it, Liam? No. Right. All of you go to bed until one of you can come down and tell me the truth. So, in effect, I'm punishing 2 children that have done nothing. But what that does is it makes the one that's guilty think about that. And also it makes the two that are not guilty, you know, say to the guilty party, hang on a minute, and it gets them to be close. So then Cameron comes down and goes, it was me. And I called him down and I went, say it again, Cameron. Cameron went, it was me. I knew it wasn't Cameron, I knew it was Ollie. So I said, it wasn't you, I know it wasn't you. You know, don't lie. Obviously, I understand you're taking one for the team, but don't lie to me. And Ollie was a bit shifty. And I'd said, should I punish you for doing something that you've not done? And, you know, Ollie was like, it was me. And he fessed up. And that teaches them that they are a team. You know, Cameron would have taken the blame for something that he hadn't done. Another example that I do is when I done my Easter egg hunts, a couple of people noticed that the Easter Bunny puts the Easter eggs in threes. So it teaches them to work together, and they're a team, that not to be competitors, that they are a team. And we kind of just tell them that all the time. We're a team, we're a team, we're a team. And I drill that into them, that that's the way to go. You know, we're family, we stick together. So I'm sorry if the lighting's a bit different, but it's late in the evening now and my phone just stopped working. So let's carry on with the questions. Is Anvid asks, how do you discipline your eldest? I think discipline starts when they're small. So I still discipline the same as I always have done. I think a few of my tactics have changed. For instance, I can now say, you're not going out, or hand your phone over, or things like that. But the main thing I do differently now is I talk to him. He's old enough that we can talk things through, and any issues that he has, we talk about. Any issues I have, we talk about. He's old enough to know right and wrong, and he's old enough to have a proper conversation with. And we have that mutual respect where we can talk to each other. And if he's messed up, I expect him to apologise. And if I've messed up 100%, I apologise to him and explain that. We all mess up time to time, including myself, and I'm big enough to apologise to him, which goes a long way. Ellie Childs asks, how often do you let your children have cakes, fizzy drinks, etc.? To be honest, not that often. We tend to just have cakes, fizzy drinks, chocolate and those type of foods on occasions, Christmas, Easter, birthdays, things like that. They don't tend to have them every day. If they want something sweet, they can always have something in their snack bin, or they can have a piece of fruit or a yoghurt. There's loads of other options, and they're pretty good, my kids, because it's always been that way, so they don't know any different. Marie and Christina ask, where do you live, and do you live in London? I was born and raised in London, but now I live in Kent, the Garden of England. I moved to Kent when Danny changed his jobs, so we moved here for financial reasons, and we love it. I really like it here. Sandy asks, how do you budget your finances? I budget my finances in my diary. There's a section in the back, and I write down all my outgoings, all my savings account, where my money's going, how much comes in, and that's how I balance the books. So I do it very old school, definitely pen to paper is more easier for me. Crystal asks, what type of things do you grow in your garden? I love flowers, and I love purpley flowers especially, so I grow loads of flowers in my garden. In my old house I used to grow fruits and vegetables, but when I moved into this house the garden was a wreck, and I haven't yet got a veggie patch put in, but I definitely do want to put a veggie patch in at some point, because fruit and veg always taste so much tastier when you've grown it yourself. So yeah, that's pretty much all my questions. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, bye.